problem
5 videos a day.
yes, I genuinely don't believe the quality is going to suck. Now, the question becomes, and you make a really good point, right? If you're trying to force it, I don't think I'm ever forcing a video. I'm deep into the analytics of how things are reacting. So like one day I did a video, and this for anyone who wants to geek out on YouTube, hopefully this is interesting. And it was 1 out of 10 on my analytics. I'm like, okay, it's working. And then 3 hours later, I put out another video. And then that video, the first one that I put that was doing so well, it just stopped gaining momentum. And I'm like, fuck, did I fuck this up by posting it? Did the algorithm not want me? Did they want me to relax?
Yeah,
Even though the next video I had was pretty good. Like it was a video I did 2 days before I edited. It was all this stuff. So then the next day, instead of doing that, I just put out one video. It hit good numbers, and I just stopped for the rest of the day, or stopped for the next 6 hours until it fizzled out, and then I put the next video, and that one hit 1 out of 10 as well. So I'm like, oh shit, I got 2 videos that actually did well from the algorithm's perspective today because I timed them out. So like I've got a lot of ideas because I genuinely think I'm a creative person, and I can take a video concept and I can turn that into an entire 10-minute video without me having to bullshit for 10 minutes to talk about it. But I can actually take a lot of different pieces of elements and make a full 10-minute commentary or 13-minute commentary or whatever. That's like my average. But now I'm at the point where I don't know if YouTube wants me to put out that much a day because I'm still so small. Like me, Kevin can do that 7 times a day and he's fine. Yeah. But for me, as someone who's small, I think the algorithm is like, slow down. We don't even know if we want to recommend you yet. So you got to give us 1 or 2 good ones a day, maybe, and then you can keep going. It's such a weird thing. And it's, their algorithm is not transparent. They don't communicate about it. So you really got to guess with some of the stuff. But I think I can keep doing more. And I want to get out of the Palantir stuff as well, because I want to talk more about macro level economics and stuff like that. But sometimes it's hard because you're like, you don't know how the algorithm's going to react. So I think it's going to take time. And hopefully over the next couple months, I figure it out.
And do you have and this, I guess this question is for me personally, because you made some good points about the analytics. You have any other pointers as far as YouTube analytics? Because I also have my channel. Obviously, I'm trying to make it grow, and right. I see your pace. You're at a great pace right now. So I'm trying to learn from you as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. The real thing that I'm trying to do is like I'm trying to learn from everyone else, and so on YouTube, the first thing is I would follow a bunch of channels that are actually good channels to learn how to grow on YouTube. Like these are real people who dedicate most of their life to helping video creators grow. They're not just trying to sell you a course on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I'll give you some of those channels and you can sort of understand what they're doing. I guess the other thing about analytics is like becoming a little bit obsessed with how videos are doing throughout the day and when to post other certain videos. So like I always try to make sure the audience is actually online when I post a video. I always try, like, so for example, today is Sunday, right? Or Saturday. My audience is literally only available from like 11 to 1 p.m. That's it. Out the rest of the day, the whole purple thing is like very light, right? People are just not using it. So I'm like, all right, we're just doing one video today. Because I guess the biggest takeaway is I would rather not post a video and have it flop versus post a video that I'm confident in that could do well. And then if it doesn't do well, I can live with it. So like I did a video on should I invest like I was going to say Bernie Sanders, like Warren Buffett or Kathy Wood. And I thought the thumbnail on that video was fire. Like I thought I put hard work into it. I thought it was great. And this shit flopped. It got like 100 views in 2 hours. I'm just like, what? I was like, this is such a video. And you got to take those moments and just be like, all right, I got to prepare for the next one. But it's like, okay, what about these keywords didn't get the algorithm to get excited? What about the click-through rate is bad here? And you got to sort of adapt to that. So I think understanding the click-through rate, understanding the time and day that you post, and then ultimately understanding when does the video fizzle out and when does it come back alive? That's super important. Now it's really weird because there's this one girl that I know through Twitter. She made a video on what are NFTs. That's it. Very simple video. It was a good video, 9 minutes. It got 700 views over 9 days. It's like about 70 views a day. Then on the 10th day, it gets 1,000 views. And now it's about 3 weeks later, she's at 157,000 views on that one video.
Oh, wow.
And she did a Twitter thread about it.
And how many subscribers does she have? Do you know?
She had like, she had like 800 and I hit 1,000 before her. So I was like, yo, it's so lit. And now she's at like 5,000 because that one video just like shot up everything. And she made a whole Twitter thread about it. And she was talking about it. And I just asked her, I was like, how did this happen? And she was like, I think the video after 7 days, for some reason, YouTube thought had a decent enough click-through rate and a decent enough retention that they wanted to show it to everybody. So I think one of the things I'm also thinking is like, if I do a good video and I give it some time, you never know 10, 15 days later, it might just explode unless it's like literally only for that day and YouTube can tell. But it exploded, and now her channel is all about NFTs. Now, one of the hard parts is that if she makes videos that are not about NFTs, she's just not going to get the same love. And she's ultimately figuring out how to become a content creator that creates videos to help people learn how to make money online, which is her general niche, not just NFTs. And I'm in the same place. I'm like, I don't want to talk about Palantir forever. I want to talk about anything. But like, I got to figure out how can I keep working to get enough audience to get Juan to care about my thoughts about Peloton because he likes what I had to say about Palantir. Like building that credibility before you shoot them with other stuff. So it takes time.
And that's the struggle. But it seems like what happened with her with that one NFT video, that happens to a lot of creators, and then from there they go off of that momentum.
Or they
even
fall
like because even like Tom, Spencer, the guy Spencer, he has a great channel. It's great. He started off with Tom, and they started off, when they just had like a few YouTubers. And they both talked about like when that one video popped, like it just went kind of like viral, and they've been just growing from there. And now you see how big they are.
Right.
I like it's tough. Like I don't YouTube for me is fun, but I have like financially I don't have to depend on it by any means. Like I don't need the money from YouTube, but I enjoy it, and you put your work behind it. You want to see it. It's kind of like your baby. But I see that like
money though for you, it's about the attention, right? Like if you can build an audience of 100,000 people, that matters way more than $100,000. Like,
no, it'll be fun. It'll be nice. It's tough though. Sometimes, like man, I put like a series of videos on income, like breaking down how to understand an income statement, a balance sheet, and a cash flow statement. Like one video for each. And I was like, oh, this is good information because this is information I would want to know, man. I want to be, I love reading financial statements and understanding it. So I figured the audience would. And it's like, man, 40 views. I was like, how hard I worked on that, man. I was like, I felt like I broke it down in a nice way, in an easy way. I made an animation, like I made an animation video about it, so it's gonna be easy to understand because nobody, who wants to learn about an income statement and understand the income statement. So I made it kind of like into an animation. I was like, oh, this is gonna go viral. It's like 40 views. I was like.
Here's my thing to you that I had to come to the realization as well, and take it for what it's worth. Someone said, if you make a video that does not get clicked on, meaning the thumbnail title suck or whatever, it's just not intriguing for people to click on, that video, outside of you learning how to make content, quite literally will never matter for the history of time. And that video probably shouldn't have been created, because what you've done is you've created a piece of art, video, book, podcast, whatever, and no one in the world consumed it. And on YouTube, there is this algorithmic curation mechanism where it tells you what it wants to see, and you have to adapt to that. Whereas the world, like you can create something and the world might consume it, they might not consume it. It's kind of the world. But at least on a platform like YouTube, you actually have data to drive your decisions for the content that people will click on. And if you make something that ultimately people don't want to click on, it's almost like it shouldn't have existed because it's never going to get anywhere outside of the personal development that it gives you. So that's the philosophy I started taking towards this content, because I made a video on like YouTube versus Netflix. I did a 26-minute breakdown. I thought it was fucking good. And 200 views, Palantir, 1,000 views. So the question becomes then, do you sell out your soul to just keep pushing out content that you know is going to do well? Or do you talk about as much stuff as you want? I think the balance is being passionate enough about the stuff that you know is going to get views enough so that you can eventually gain an audience, so that when I talk about YouTube and Netflix, people will care, right? And I think Tom did this, right? He did like 6, 7, 8 videos on Dan Blazarian when that whole Ignite thing was happening. 800, 900,000 views. And now he can talk about whatever, and his 200,000 subscribers are going to support him because they care about him. So it's the game of getting people to at least discover who you are. And the hardship of YouTube is that it's so crowded, but the beauty of YouTube is there's actually data to know what it will take to get someone to kind of get in there. Then you got to give them enough of your personality to the point where they want to stay and subscribe. And then you got a chance to give them something else in the future, which I think is the most important thing. So like that's the thing for me, is like making a video that won't get clicked on is only beneficial to you in terms of becoming a better content creator, but it's really not beneficial to anything else. And it's like, but figuring out what video to create is the hard part.
Yeah, you're right, man. Shoot. I guess I gotta change my game up a little bit.
It's hard, but you also gotta stay authentic to yourself. Same thing for me. Like I gotta figure it out. Everyone's trying to figure it out.
Well, you're making it work, man. I'm enjoying your content for sure. I recommend anybody to watch your videos. It's great content. It's authentic, easy to watch, enjoyable. I'm gonna be following you for a long time, man. I really appreciate you coming on here and talking with me, spending some time. And
Same
I
here,
hope to see you in
man.
the
I
future,
love it.
man. All right, man.
Excited
Thanks
to
a
grow
lot.
together with you, bro.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to. I'm gonna be watching you. I'm gonna be learning from you. Obviously, you figured you're ahead as far as algorithms and understanding all that stuff. So I'm gonna be following your lead, man.
All right, man.
Just don't
I'll
don't
catch
hey,
you.
don't forget about me when you become big, man.
I hate that you're saying this because I'm like, I'm really nobody yet. Like, I don't like you
I,
saying this yet.
no,
So,
I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking, man. But don't forget about me when you're big.
yeah.
No, I'm just messing with you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks again.
I want to talk to you.